Welcome to Clarity and Charisma Podcast.
From the Handcrafted English team. Okay, so Daniel, let's be completely honest right from the very start today. Have you ever, smiled through your teeth and said, "Oh, wow, that sounds absolutely wonderful," when in reality, inside your brain, you were screaming in pure, unadulterated terror?
Oh, Emma, you have no idea. You are literally describing my entire last weekend. My neighbor invited me to, get this, a community garage cleaning party at 6 in the morning on a Sunday. And what did my mouth do? My mouth just bypassed my brain completely and said, "Awesome, count me in. I love the smell of old dust." I am a total coward, Emma, a complete and utter pushover.
Oh, thank goodness it's not just me. Welcome to Handcrafted English, everyone, the podcast where we break down real communication strategies for human beings, not perfect textbook robots. I'm Emma.
And I'm Daniel, and today we are diving deep into the absolute mess that is agreeing to things you actually hate. We've all done it. You want to be polite, you want to fit in, or maybe you just freeze when someone asks you a question in English, and suddenly you've promised to help someone move a heavy sofa up 5 flights of stairs.
The dreaded sofa trap. It is so real, Daniel. And for our listeners who are learning English, this is actually a double challenge because when you're communicating in a second language, your brain is already working overtime just to process the vocabulary. So when a coworker says, "Hey, do you want to join our daily 7 a.m. brainstorming sync?" your survival instinct just kicks in and you say, "Yes, please," before you even realize what you've signed up for.
Exactly. You're just trying to survive the interaction. You think if I say yes, the conversation's over and I can go hide. But then tomorrow morning at 7, you're awake, miserable, and drinking terrible coffee, questioning all of your life choices. So today we want to give you the exact linguistic tools, the actual phrases, softeners, and strategic moves to navigate these moments across all levels from A1 to B2.
Yes, because there's a massive difference between being polite and being a total doormat. Let's start at the foundational level, our A1 and A2 strategies. Daniel, when you're just starting out, you don't have the complex grammar to weave a beautiful, delicate web of excuses. What do you do when you need to say no, or at least buy some time without sounding incredibly rude?
Right. At the A1 and A2 levels, simplicity is your absolute best friend. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they need a grand, dramatic story. You don't. You just need a tiny phrase to soften the impact. My absolute favorite safety net for beginners is using a positive phrase followed immediately by the word but. We call this the positive pivot. Emma, let's roleplay. Invite me to something terrible.
Oh, gladly. Hey, Daniel, do you want to come over to my apartment tonight and help me sort through my giant collection of old receipts from 2018? It'll be so fun.
Oh, wow. See, my human instinct is to run away, but using the A1, A2 positive pivot, I would say, "I love to help, but I can't tonight." Or, "That sounds interesting, but I am very busy." Look at what happened there. "I love to help," or "That sounds interesting," validates the other person. Then the "but" does the heavy lifting. It's short, it's grammatically simple, and it protects your free time.
That is so elegant, Daniel, truly. And it's so much better than just saying, "No, I don't want to do that," which can sound a bit like a slap in the face. Another great tool for our A2 learners is the phrase, "I would love to, but." It uses that conditional would, which instantly adds a layer of politeness, even if the rest of your sentence is super simple. For example, "I would love to, but I have plans." Even if those plans are just sitting on your couch in your sweatpants watching reality TV, that counts as plans.
Hey, self-care is a plan, Emma. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But okay, let's level up to our B1 intermediate speakers. This is where things get interesting because you have more vocabulary, which means you also have more room to get yourself into trouble. At the B1 level, I introduce a strategy I like to call the counteroffer. This is for when you don't want to do the specific, horrible thing someone asked, but you still want to maintain a good relationship with them.
Oh, I use this one all the time because I am a chronic people pleaser who is slowly recovering. The counteroffer is brilliant because it puts you in control of the situation. Instead of just accepting their terrible plan, you gently redirect the ship. Let's do another scenario. Daniel, imagine we are coworkers.
Okay, I'm ready. Hey, Emma, a few of us are going to that incredibly loud underground heavy metal karaoke bar after work today at midnight. You're coming, right?
Ugh, midnight. Okay, so as a B1 speaker, instead of panicking and saying yes, I would use a softener plus a counteroffer. I'd say, that sounds like an adventure, but midnights are really tough for me. How about we grab a coffee tomorrow lunch instead?
See, I can't even be mad at that response. It's perfect. You acknowledged my crazy invitation. You clearly stated your limit using a great B1 structure. Midnights are really tough for me. And then immediately threw out a life raft with, how about we. That phrase, how about we do something else, is absolute gold for B1 learners. It shifts the focus away from the rejection and onto a new, better plan that you actually enjoy.
Exactly. You're changing the parameters of the agreement so it fits your life. Now, let's talk about the B2 level, the upper intermediate tier.
Yes, B2 is all about the art of diplomatic deferral and setting firm boundaries with soft phrasing. This is crucial in the workplace. Suppose your boss or a dominant colleague comes to you and says, "Hey, I need you to take over the minutes for the daily committee meetings for the next 6 months." It's an awful task. It takes hours and it's completely outside your job description. Emma, how does a B2 speaker handle this without ruining their career prospects?
This is where we use the conditional yes, or what I call the prioritization pivot. Instead of a flat no or a miserable yes, you reflect the responsibility back to them using advanced modal verbs and conditional structures. You could say, I'd be happy to take that on, provided we can shift some of my current deadlines to accommodate the extra workload. Or you could say, while I understand the importance of the committee minutes, doing that would mean I have to deprioritize the marketing report. Which one would you prefer I focus on?
Oh, that is incredibly smooth. You're not saying, no, I won't do it. You're saying, sure, I can do that if you help me remove something else from my plate. It forces the other person to recognize the value of your time. Phrases like provided that or on the condition that are spectacular B2 structures that make you sound incredibly professional, rational, and in control.
Right? It takes all the emotion out of it. You aren't a nervous language learner trying to find the words. You are a strategic professional managing your bandwidth. But Daniel, let's be real for a second too. Even with all these phrases, why is this so hard? Like, why do we still experience that physical jolt of panic when someone asks us to do something we hate?
Because as human beings, our brains are wired to belong to the tribe. Millennia ago, if you disagreed with the tribe, they threw you out into the wilderness to be eaten by wolves. So when your coworker asks you to come to their child's birthday party on a Saturday, your ancient brain thinks, if I say no, I will be exiled and eaten by wolves. It's a survival mechanism.
That makes so much sense. I'm not weak, I'm just trying not to get eaten by wolves. That makes me feel so much better. But honestly, it's even harder for language learners because there's an added layer of cultural confusion. In some cultures, saying no directly is totally fine and expected. In others, especially in many English-speaking environments, particularly British or corporate American cultures, direct refusal can feel like a social crime. Everything is wrapped in layers of polite padding.
Oh, absolutely. The polite padding is real. If an American says, that's a really interesting idea, let me think about it, 9 times out of 10, that means no, absolutely not, never in a million years. It's a cultural code. And if you don't know the code, you might take it literally. That's why learning these specific phrases isn't just about grammar. It's about learning the cultural dance of English communication.
It really is a dance. So let's review our toolkit so far for our listeners because we've covered a lot of ground. If you're at the A1, A2 level, your go-to move is the positive pivot. Validate the invite, drop a but, and keep your excuse short and sweet. I'd love to, but I can't today.
If you're at the B1 level, your weapon of choice is the counteroffer. Use the phrase, how about we, to pivot away from the activity you hate and towards something you actually enjoy. You're steering the ship.
And for our B2 rock stars, it's all about the conditional yes. Use professional structures like provided that, or while I see the value in that, it would mean to protect your time and set clear, firm boundaries without breaking the sweat.
This is incredibly powerful stuff. But you know, Emma, I think we need to address one more thing. What happens when you've already messed up? What happens you've already said yes to the thing you hate and now the event is happening tonight and you are filled with absolute regret? How do you back out politely in English?
Oh, the cancellation crisis. This is advanced human psychology right here.
Oh, the cancellation crisis. That is where true linguistic panic sets in, Emma, because now you aren't just managing an invitation, you are breaking a promise. And in a second language, that feels twice as terrifying because you don't want to sound fleeky, unreliable, or rude.
Exactly. But here is the secret to a perfect English cancellation. You need to use the regret plus reason plus alternative formula. It works like magic across all proficiency levels. But if you're aiming for that fluent natural B1 or B2 flow, the vocabulary choice is everything. You can't just text someone, I am sick, bye. It feels too cold.
Right, it sounds like a text from a robot. Instead, you want to lead with an emotional buffer. Use a phrase like, I'm so sorry to do this, but, or something unexpected has come up. That phrase, something unexpected has come up, is the ultimate linguistic shield. It's professional, it's polite, and it doesn't force you to give 10 paragraphs of highly personal details about why you can't make it.
Oh, absolutely. Please, listeners, do not feel like you need to write a whole essay explaining your medical history or your family drama. Keep it simple. Let's look at a quick B1, B2 text formula you can literally copy and paste next time you need to escape an agreement. It goes like this. Hey, Daniel, I'm so sorry to do this last minute, but something unexpected has come up and I won't be able to make it tonight. I'm incredibly disappointed. Can we reschedule for next week?
Oof, see, if I received that text, I wouldn't feel bad at all. It shows respect for my time because you apologized. It handles the problem gracefully with something unexpected has come up, and it proves you still care about the relationship by offering to reschedule. It's a total win-win situation.
It really is. And you know what this reminds me of, Daniel? It reminds me of the importance of intonation and vocal delivery, because you can have the most perfect, grammatically flawless B2 sentence written down on a piece of paper, but if your voice sounds flat, cold, or aggressive when you say it, the strategy completely fails.
Oh, the how you say it factor. That is huge, especially for our A1 and A2 learners who might still be focusing so hard on pronouncing individual words correctly that they forget to add the melody of English politeness. In English, when we are softening a blow or changing our mind, our pitch tends to go a little bit higher and we lengthen our vowel sounds. We don't say, I can't come today. We say, I can't come today. We soften the edges of the words.
Yes, we call that vocal softening. It signals to the listener's brain that you are safe, that you are friendly, and that you are not attacking them. If you say a phrase like, I'd love to, but with a completely flat, monotone voice, it sounds incredibly sarcastic and mean. Try it, Daniel. Give me a monotone refusal.
I would love to join your garage cleaning party, but I am very busy.
See? That sounds like you literally want to throw me into the garbage can along with the old receipts. It sounds completely insincere. Now, do it with the proper vocal softening.
Oh, I would absolutely love to help, Emma, but I'm just so swamped with work this weekend.
Perfect. Instant difference. The words are almost exactly the same, but the emotional delivery changes everything. That is a massive takeaway for everyone listening today, regardless of whether you are an absolute beginner or an advanced speaker. Your tone carries the politeness just as much as your vocabulary does.
Wow, Emma, we have unpacked a massive amount of strategy today. We went from basic A1 survival phrases all the way up to advanced B2 corporate negotiations and vocal pitch mechanics. I feel like our listeners are now fully armed and dangerous, metaphorically speaking, of course. They are ready to protect their calendars.
They really are. No more accidental promises, no more 6 in the morning weekend commitments that you secretly dread. You have the tools, you have the phrases, and most importantly, you have the permission to protect your energy.
Absolutely. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Handcrafted English. If you enjoyed this conversation, please make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and tell a friend who might also be a recovering people pleaser.
Yes, let us know in the comments below what is the worst thing you have ever accidentally agreed to because you didn't know how to say no in English. We want to read your stories. Until next time, keep practicing, keep softening those phrases, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.